Good morning, fellow Earthlings. Welcome to Wiggle Wednesday. This is going to be another rambly one. Probably not very long, though. I say that and then they're like 10, 20 minutes long. Don't worry, I edit. The things that I'm thinking about today are normalizing imperfect and asking for help. And I think they're related for me because my own life experience has been sort of a path of figuring out how to take up space in the world after feeling like I didn't have that right. Childhood learning is not always easy, even though I had it better than many, better than most probably. There's still the psychological imprint of the things that you learn when you're a kid. And part of what you learn when you're a kid is what the world is supposed to be like, even though when you are a child, you have a childlike understanding of the world and relationships. And so obviously those tools develop as the mind develops, or even just as your experience develops and your own experience of yourself becomes more well-rounded. I mean, I don't know, maybe some people are just born knowing how to be in the world, and that's great. I really admire that, and I aspire to that. Meanwhile, for whatever reason, I have this very loud critical voice in my mind that speaks up anytime I want to ask for things for myself or feel like I want to ask for help. It speaks very loudly about, not deserving. And I feel like this is actually kind of perfect for me to edit and put some kind of the voice speaks loudly about not deserving, and that's really takes a lot of sort of mindfulness and effort. Like, I don't think we necessarily ever stop those voices, but I think we learn to adapt to them and to put them in their place so that we understand, like, oh, it's okay. That's past pain talking. You don't get to define who I am anymore. And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work and a lot of courage, or at least it took me a lot of work. And there's still more work to do, obviously. This week, I started a Faithify campaign, which is basically a Unitarian Universalist branded GoFundMe, which it's not a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is a particular brand, but it's the same concept of online fundraising, crowdfunding. I started that, and I haven't actively promoted it anywhere. I did some very low-key letting people know about it. There was one place where it was automatically added to the Faithify newsletter, and I think I actually got somebody that contributed a little bit from that, which is kind of amazing and also heartening and affirming of my belief in humanity. I did put it out to a few people, but not loud and proud. I didn't say like, oh, look, I'm in a position where I need money for school, and if you are in a position to help, then I would be gratefully accepting of your help. And I didn't do that yet. It was all very like surreptitiously, like, I'm just gonna include this link, and if somebody happens to read this link and this other, buried link that I have buried somewhere else, then that's great. And people have managed to find it despite my best efforts. Oh. Despite my best efforts, people want to show up and love on me and support me by sharing their resources, and I'm trying so hard to feel like I deserve it and that I earned it. But I don't believe that 100% yet. I feel like I have one leg in self-doubt and one leg in delightful and gracious acceptance of people's flow as part of how they want to share their love and support for me. So it just makes me uncomfortable. So I guess today's wiggle is going to be about dealing with that discomfort and just letting that discomfort settle on me and then wiggling it out of my body. Because if we recognize that having one leg in one frame of thought and one leg in another frame of thought is, you're at the point of choice and you get to pick. I mean, mean, that's very, very glib shorthand for the actual process, and it's going to be different for everybody. But for me, for today, I want to be more at ease with receiving. And this is going to be a really, really important lesson for me, because if I've chosen a life of service, which I have, then I'm going to be giving a lot. And in some respects, I have as a parent and as someone with anxiety who uses appeasing people to feel safe and comfortable. I give a lot. And in my creative process, I give, and those things also nourish me, but there are some ways that giving isn't nourishing. And so what I want to do is plug into the flow of giving and receiving so that I can be more effective at both, and not insert any of my own resistance or doubt into a process that could be quite beautiful and lovely and natural. That's what today's wiggle is about, I guess. I didn't realize that when I started talking, but we got there eventually. So join me in a wiggle. Here we go. So what we are seeing is the embodiment of my resistance, which actually turns out to be like a little bitty baby tantrum. Interesting. It seems to me then that the resistance really is connected to childhood discomfort, and letting it come out that way, like just giving it permission to express, really seems like it could help it flow through. Like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Just let it out. These are the things that I tell my younger that I've told my older when she was little, that you just let those feelings move through and then they're done with their job. If we resist them, they land in our body and wait for our attention. I haven't asked this on my last few videos. I've noticed that it kind of went out of my monologue, but I'm gonna ask it today because now I wanna take up more space in the world. So I'm gonna ask you to like this video and comment with something that made you think about, that this video made you think about. If it did, or if you just laughed, that's good. Let me know. I wanna hear from you. I would like to know that it's making a difference for somebody to do this, because I could just be doing this for myself. But I wanna share it. So anyway, maybe it'll help.